Hello everyone. Today we will have a reading article session for the fake group for study down. I'll introduce myself first. My name is Yanchesar Madani from the Professional High School in Malang. Your introduction, please, Naila.
Halo, my name is Nala Kazima. I'm from SMK BKD 13 Surabaya.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Fadil Waliansyah from SMK 1 Surabaya.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, everyone. And I will be reading about our own article. I will go first. So, Yoke botanist who helped revive Japan's seaweed industry by Katie Foster from Eigen Farms in Tokyo. This year in southern Japan, dozens of people gather at the seafront shrine to honor a British botanist who never visited the country but is credited with revitalizing its crucial seaweed industry. Kathleen Drew Baker made groundbreaking discoveries about the reproduction of nori seaweed, the crispy dried sheets that encircle sushi rolls, helping kickstart its farming on a commercial scale. Her studies at the University of Manchester allowed Japan to ramp up production in the difficult period after World War II, when small-scale growers were having trouble meeting demand. But she carried out her most influential work as an unpaid research fellow, having lost her academic post after marriage because of the university's policy at the time against employing married women. Although Drew Baker died in 1957, her memory lives on in the city of Kyoto in Kumamoto, one of Japan's largest nori growing regions. Dozens of people from local fisheries, as well as scientists and history buffs, gather each April in the leafy ground of a shrine by the ocean, where a stone plate display an embossed metal plate of her face. Large Japanese and British flags are raised at the event, where Shinto priests give thanks to Drew Baker. Organizer Fumiki Yamamoto attributes this oath to Ayaki. Seaweed producers were happy and grateful for the ability to grow minority seaweed in the aftermath of the war, when people were struggling with food shortage. Instead, the crop has been harvested from Japan's coastline for centuries and farmed for 500 years. Apart from its use in sushi, it is also a key ingredient in onigiri rice balls, staple snack food in Japan, and is used to garnish bowls of ramen and other classic dishes. But this seaweed is notoriously fragile and easily wiped out by typhoons and pollution. In 1949, Brubaker published a landmark study in the scientific journal Nature about laver, another name for nori. The crop grows off the coast of Wales and is used to produce a traditional dish called laver bread. Up until that point, the life cycle of nori wasn't well known, Yamamoto said. The research gave new insights into how the plant grows in the seashells where it produced its spores. Brubaker made contact with a professor at Kyushu University and sent over an academic paper to him with the question, "Isn't Japanese seaweed like this too?" He said. Japanese scientists and nori farmers then began experimenting with using oyster shells to help marine plants thrive. It was a success, said Yamamoto, the son of a seaweed wholesaler who has run the inaugural event for 50 years. Now, nori is one of the essential foods of Japan. That's mine. Next to you, Naila.
Okay. Reading about newspaper. The newspaper is the UN right body set to cross over Quran pollination. Reuters or Geneva Switzerland. Human Rights Council is to discuss the country's draft proposal on religious hatred in the wake of Quran burning in Sweden. an initiative that has highlighted it in the United Nations body and shown this in practice in human rights protection. In a draft resolution presented by Pakistan on behalf of the 57 Nation Organization of Islamic Cooperation or OIC, the group described the burning of the Quran in Stockholm last month as offensive, disrespectful, and a clear-edged provocation that incites hatred and constitutes a human rights violation. The draft, which condemned recurring acts of public burning of the Holy Quran in some European and other countries, has gotten opposition from Western diplomats who argue it aims to safeguard religious symbols of patriotic pride. We don't like the text on Western diplomats said of the Human Rights Council in Geneva on Tuesday. Human rights are supposed to be protected to individuals, not the religions. The OIC initiative also stopped with tension between Western states and the Islamic organization at a time when the group has unprecedented called in the council, the only body made up of governments to protect human rights worldwide. 19 OIC countries are voting members of the 47-member council, and other states such as China have agreed with their draft resolution. It remains to be seen whether Pakistan will succeed in rallying all OIC countries behind it. A Saudi-led effort to end the Yemen war seems to prevail in 2021. Of the resolution passes as seems likely it will change the South is flipping and the West is losing ground on key debates such as the boundary between free speech and hate speech, and whether religion have rights, said Matt Limon, director of the Geneva-based Universal Light Group. This could make the Council explode in acrimony. The European Union has urged parties to reach a consensus on the issue. The formation of religions has been a difficult topic for decades between the UN and EU diplomats say in negotiation last week. The question where to draft the line between freedom of expression and incitement to hatred is indeed a very complicated one. That's my newspaper.
Okay,
And that's okay.
my newspaper blog. The title is As Peace Dead Home Life for Polish German Border. Special S, Second France, Press, or Pesco, Brigade Germany. President Harry Schneider suffered work for several months after the toxic gay group hit the odor of last cigarettes, decimating his cats. Schneider, 43, which family has made his living from the rifle over the country, Italy took up his activities again in May. But fears of a repeat are growing as global warming adds the toxic mix of pollution, putting the delicate ecosystem under pressure. It was unbelievable that we had fish left at all. Schneider, who lived on the German bank of the river side of the poisoning. The disaster wiped out more than half the fish in the river, with stress, long stress of the Polish-German border. And while the other had had some time to recover, the organization responsible for the disaster, known as Prevention Forum, has not been eradicated. In ambitude of other battle, we still see several active cells from the Institute of Ecology at the Land Fisheries or EGB in Berlin. The vast that the risk of another deadly bloom is high. It is just waiting for the recognition to explode. Police and German authorities on either side of the rifle say they are determined to stop that happening, but to have the sense of responsibility for disaster are the best way to keep the allergy in check. Option 2 with the collapse. Among fishermen there is concern of the impact of possible erosions. If it happens again this year, then there will be nothing to fish in the rifle for the next few years, they say. The event of Las Vegas led to an immediate collapse in our limbs and fish cells that would bread on the table, he said. We came down to the water and we saw all of the dead fish in the both direction. Recalls scattering up and down the river bank. Schneider and his family received financial support from the Brandenburg region to bridge the gap left by disaster. I have never been fish dead on this scale in the order in my lifetime, say Henry, 65-year-old, Vital Peter Schneider, A confluence of high salt level in the river and extended period of high temperatures created the perfect condition for the algae into flows upstream. The question of excess salt has excited for a long time and is now getting worse with climate change, say Pons. Among the factors, polluted waterways meant that dangerous rivers are not being as regarded as before. Several groups have also pointed the finger at mining pollution in Poland and deep mineral vacate water into the river. Now, with the winter warming up once again, increase in the number of days have already been recorded further up the order. Obviously, the back sands in response was how the host of the affected areas will be set up, as well as permission water was rapid plants and the creation of the level bodies. But the government phase acquisition is not doing enough to avoid a disaster repeat. Scientists believe many fish that survived only found the brutalization cons of the other while the deadly algae was less prevalent. Yet new man-made installation on the rifle would all increase the risks of disaster. The head of WWF Poland developed probe to the AFP. They changed the rifle into telescope rope and it's not the same thing, he explained. Likewise, despite promise from Warsaw to require permits for the disposing of industrial waste water into the river, Berlin has criticized inaction on the body side. We see that another major efforts there to restrict all child takers, a spokesman for the German government initially said earlier this month. As he can't cut off in nobody interest, the spokesman said, but science are not good at the moment. For the time being, the fishermen along the other with cutting the cutting out initially. We're optimistic that in 2, 3, 4 years, there will again be fish there in says that shall be avoided. Okay, this is my blog newspaper. Thank you.
UK botanists who helped revive Japan's seaweed industry, like Katie Foster from the Agence France Press in Tokyo. Each year in southern Japan, dozens of people gather at the seafront France to honor a British botanist who never visited the country, but is credited with revitalizing its crucial seaweed industry. Kathleen Drew Baker made groundbreaking discoveries about the reproduction of nori seaweed, the crispy dried shell that encircles sushi rolls, helping kickstart its farming on commercial scale. Her studies at the University of Manchester allowed Japan to ramp up production in the difficult period after World War II, when small-scale growers were having trouble meeting demand. But she carried out her influential work as an unpaid research fellow, having lost her academic quota for marriage because of the university policy at the time against employing married women. Although Drew Baker died in 1957, her uh, memory lives on in the city of Kyoto, in Kumamoto, one of Japan's largest nori growing regions. Dozens of people from local fisheries, as well as scientists and history buffs gather each April in the leafy ground of a shrine by the ocean, where storefleet displays an embossed metal plaque of her face. Large Japanese and British flags are raised at the event, where a Shinto priest gives thanks to Drew Baker. Organizer Fumiichi Yamamoto, 56 years old, told AFP. Seaweed producers are happy and grateful for the ability to grow more nori seaweed in the aftermath of the war, when people were struggling with food shortage, he said. The crab has been harvested from Japan's coastline for centuries and farmed for 500 years. Apart from its use in sushi, it is also a key ingredient in onigiri rice balls, a staple snack food from Japan, and is used to garnish bowls of ramen and other classic fish. But the seaweed is notoriously fragile and easily wiped out by typhoon and pollution. In 1949, Brubaker published a landmark study in the scientific journal Nature about liver, another name for nori. The crab grows off the coastal belts and is used to produce a traditional dish called liver bread. Up until that point, the life cycle of nori wasn't well known. Yamamoto said, The research gave new insights into how the plant bore into seashells were introduced in spores. Drew Baker made contact with a professor at Kyushu University and sent over an academic paper to him with a question: "Is it Japanese seaweed like this too?" He said. Japanese scientists and nori farmers then began experimenting with using oyster shells to help marine plants thrive. "It was a success," said Yamamoto, the son of a seaweed wholesaler who has run the memorial event for 50 years. Now, nori is one of the essential foods of Japan.
UN Right Body said the cost of burger and burger issue. Reuters or Geneva, Switzerland. The Human Rights Council is said to develop in for unburning in Sweden. The initiative has highlighted it in the unit national body and challenges practice in human rights protection. In a draft resolution presented by Pakistan on behalf of the 57 Nation Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC), the group described the burning of the Quran in Stockholm last month as offensive, disgraceful, and a clear act of provocation that incited hatred and constitutes a human rights violation. The draft, which condemned recurring acts of public burning of the Holy Quran in some European and other countries, as token appreciation from Western diplomats will argue its aim to safeguard a just symbol rather than human rights. "We don't like the text," one Western diplomat said of the draft, which will be presented to the Human Rights Council in Geneva. Human rights are supposed to be attracted to individuals, not to religions. The OIC initiative also stoked tension between Western states and the Islamic organization at a time when the group has unprecedented hold in the council, the only body made up of governments to protect human rights worldwide. 19 OIC countries are voting members of the 57 member council, and other states such as China have aligned with their draft resolution. It remains to be seen whether Pakistan will succeed in rallying OIC countries behind it. The Saudi-led effort to end a Yemen war crimes program prevailed in 2021. If the resolution passes, as seems likely, it will strengthen in the impression the Council is flipping and the West is losing key debates such as the boundary with free speech and hate speech. "And whether religion have rights," said Matt Limon, director of the Geneva-based Universal Rights Group. "This could make the Council explode in acrimony. The European Union has urged parties to reach a consensus on the issue. The question of religion has been a difficult topic for decades within the UN, and EU diplomats said in negotiation last week. The question were to draw the line between freedom of expression and incitement to hatred in that a very complicated one.
Okay, I will read my continue newspaper blog. Deal is a Swiss state on level in the Polish-German border, especially in second German. The second hand is sharing support for surveillance of the toxic okay, Bloomfield other level less gas. Estimating his cats. Senador 43 was family has been sleeping from the level 43. Finally took of his activities again in May. But fears of further growing as global warming as the toxic mix of pollution putting the delicate ecosystem under pressure. We had fish left out all. Senador was on the human bank of the river side of the poison. Disaster more than half the fish in the rivers of the some record responsible for the disaster known as Human Boom has not been eradicated. We are military affordable sea cells size at Martin Pons from the Leibniz Institute of Freshwater Ecology and Inland Fisheries or EGB in Berlin. He once studied the risks of undoubtedly bloom is high. It is just waiting for the recognition to explode. Police and German authorities on either side of the rifle say they are determined to stop that happening. But the two have for responsibility for disaster and the best way to keep the Algae in check. Option 2, immediate collapse. Among fishermen, the Induscon could avoid the impact of possible resource. If it happens again this year, then there will be nothing to fish in the rifle for the next 12 years, sad to say. The events of Las Vegas led to an immediate collapse in Taurims. Fish sales had put bread on the table, he said. We came down to the water and we saw a lot of fish in both directions, with the calls scattering up and down the river bank. Schneider and his family suffered financial support from the Bradford Park region to bridge the gap left by disaster. There have never been fish deaths on the scale in the order in my lifetime, say Henry, 5 years old, Peter Schneider. Announcement of hikes shut the fine rifle and extended period of high temperatures created the perfect condition for the alligator to fall upstream. The question of excess salt has existed for a long time. It's now getting worse with climate change, say Pons. Among other factors, processed waterways meant that dangerous discharges are not being as treated as before. Environmental groups have also pointed the finger at many operations in Holland that deeply affected water into the river. Now with the weather warming about one scan, interest in the number of algae have already been recorded after. After 3% in response, Warsaw has ordered affected areas to be sealed off, as well as promising more water treatment plants and the creation of the rifle police. But the government face accusation is not doing enough to avoid a disaster repeat. Scientists believe many fish that survived on reefs in tributaries and corners of the other well that the algae posture. The head of UWF Poland, Priscilla Probe.afp, they changed the rifle in the transport route, and it is not the same thing, he explained. Likewise, the spread promise from Warsaw to review all permits for the dispensing of industrial wastewater in the river. Berlin has criticized inaction on the policy side. We see there are no major efforts there to research or research or spokesman for the government environment ministry said earlier this month. A second catalogs in open interest, the spokesman said, but science are not good at the moment. For the time being, the fishermen along the order will continue continuously. Well optimistic in that in 2, 3, 4 years, there will again be fish there in bulk. Saya the same interpreter, provide and the disaster can be avoided. Yes, my paper blog. Thank you.
Okay. The UK Boat Minister have provided Japan's industry by Katie Foster for Against France Press in Tokyo. Each year in southern Japan, thousands of people gather at a different sign to honor a British company who never visited the country in its traditions, capitalizing on crucial experience. Catherine Drew Baker, in conducting discoveries about the reproduction of nori seaweed, the crispy dried chips and purple sushi roll, helping to start experimenting on a commercial scale. Her studies with the University of Manchester allowed Japan to ramp up production in the difficult period after World War II, when small-scale growers were having trouble meeting demand. But she carried out her most influential work as an unpaid research fellow, having lost her academic post after marriage because of the university's policy at the time against employing married women. Although Brubaker died in 1957, her memory lives on in the city of Saito in Kumamoto, one of Japan's largest nori-growing regions. Dozens of people from local fisheries as well as scientists and history buffs gather each April in the leafy ground of the shrine by the ocean, where stone plate displays an embossed metal plate of her face. Both Japanese and British flags are raised at the event, where Shinto priests give thanks to Bill Baker, organizer for the Ichi Yamamoto 8620 Dynasty. Seaweed producers were happy and grateful for the ability to grow more seaweed in the aftermath of the war, when people were struggling with food shortage. The crop has been harvested in Japan's coastline for centuries and farmed for 500 years. Apart from its use in sushi, it is also a key ingredient in onigiri rice balls, prefer snack food in Japan, and it gives the garnish foods of ramen and other classic dishes. But the seaweed is notoriously fragile and easily wiped out by typhoons and pollution. In 1947, Brubaker published a landmark study in the scientific journal Nature about labor, another name for nori. The crop grows off the coast of Wales and is used to produce a fictional dish called Jehu bread. Up until that point, the life cycle of nori wasn't well known, Yamamoto said. The research gave new insights into how the plant grows and the seashells where it produced its spores. Brubaker made contact with a professor at Kyushu University and sent over an academic paper to him with the question, "Is it Japanese food like this too?" He said. Japanese scientists and North farmers then began experimenting with using typhoid cells to submarine cells died. Jack said Yamamoto, the son of a seaweed wholesaler who has run the memorial event for 50 years. Now, nori is one of the essential foods of Japan.
UN World Body set to cross over for unfinished. Reuters or Geneva, Switzerland. The Human Rights Council is set to debate a contentious draft proposal on religion hatred in the wake of a Quran burning in Sweden. An initiative that has highlighted rift in the United Nations body and challenges practice in human rights protection. In a draft resolution presented by Pakistan on behalf of the 57 Nation Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, the group described the burning of the Quran in Stockholm last month as offensive, disgraceful, and a clear provocation that incites hatred and constitutes a human rights violation. The draft, which condemned recurring acts of public burning of the Holy Quran in some European and African countries, has taken opposition from Western diplomats who argue it aimed to safeguard religion symbol and heritage human rights. We don't like the text, one Western diplomat said of the draft, which will be presented to the Human Rights Council in Geneva on Tuesday. Human rights are supposed to be attached to individuals, not to regions. The OIC initiative also struck a tension between Western states and the Islamic organization at a time when the group has unprecedented hold in the Council, the only body made up of governments to protect human rights worldwide. 19 OIC countries are voting members of the 47 members of and others such as China have aligned with their resolution. It remains to be seen whether Pakistan will succeed in rallying all IC countries behind it. A Saudi-led effort to end a Yemeni war crimes in 2021. If the resolution passes, as seems likely, it will strengthen the impression the Council is flag-flipping and the West is losing ground on key debates such as the boundary between free speech and hate speech. And whether religion have rights, said Mark Limon, director of the Geneva-based Universal Rights Group. This could make the Council explode in acrimony. The European Union has urged parties to reach a consensus in the issue. The formation of religion has been a difficult topic for decades within the UN, and EU diplomats said in negotiation last week. To draw the line between freedom of expression and incitement to hatred is in that a very complicated.
I will read my newspaper blog, and the title is "My Twisted House on Polish German Borders." Sebastian S. Second France Press of Moscow, Regenhard, Germany. Fishermen Senators suffered work for 7 months after toxic algae bloomed at the outer level last August. This meeting is scarce. Senator 43, whose family has met, is living from the river Rapala country. Finally took his activists again in May. But fears of a river are growing as global warming adds a toxic mix of pollution, put a delicate ecosystem under pressure. It was unbelievable that we had fish left out of Senator left on the Clermont Bank of the say of poisoning. Disaster wiped out more than half the fish in the river, trash along trash of the police and border. And while the other had some time to report, the recognized him responsible for disaster, known as Planitia Marufum, has not been eradicated. In immediately of all the water, we still see separate cells, say scientist Martin Pouch from the Leibniz Institute of Respiratory Ecology and Elan Fischer's ODGB in Berlin. In the most that the risk of polluted boom is high. They just waiting for the condition to explode. Police and German authorities on either side of the river say they are determined to stop that happening. But to have less of a responsibility for disaster are the best way to keep the LGA in check. Abis itu, immediate collapse. Among fishermen, there are conclusion of one of all the impact of possible records. If it happens again this year, then there will be nothing to drive for the say. As a gas led to an immediate collapse in whole limbs and fish cells that would break the table, say. We came down the water and we saw a little fish in the boat direction. The whole gesturing up and down the river bank. Senator and his family reside financial spot on the Bilderberg region, which the gap lay by the disaster. There have never been fish deaths on his scale in the order in my lifetime. 65 years old, by the say leader. A confluence of high sea level in the rainfall and an extended period of high temperatures created the perfect condition from the algae to follow upstream. The question of excess salt, excited for a long time, is now getting worse with climate change, say Punch. Among the factors, faucet waterways made that dangerous stickers are not being as little as before. Governmental group have also pointed the finger at many operations in Poland that tip mineral pictured water into the river. Now with the water went up once again, increase in the number of algae have already been recorded further up the other. Considering bad science in response, Bersau has other affected areas to be started off, as well as promising more better treatment plans and regulation of the other bodies. But the government face accusation is not doing enough to avoid a disaster repeat. Scientists believe many fish that survived found livebugs in tributaries and corners of the other where the deadly algae was less prevalent. Yet no man-made installation on the river would only increase the risk of disaster. The head of WWF Poland, the solar probe, told AFP. They changed the river into a transport road and is it not the same thing? He explained. Likewise, despite promise from the south to remove all permits from dispensing of essential waste motors in the river, Berlin has declared inaction of the policy side. We see there are a major effort there in the Indonesia or that the spokesman for the Climate Development Ministry said earlier this month. As a concrete adopts in nobody interest, the spokesman said, but science are not good at the moment. But for the time being, the visible along the order will continue coordination. What optimistic in the that in 2-3-4 years will get back involved. They understand in the future, provide another disaster can be avoided. Right, that's my Liverpool blog. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. Today's session and here. Thank you all for your time. Goodbye.